Oh, darling listeners, if I could bottle that last lazy Sunday afternoon in our dusty Texas backyard, the air thick with the scent of Mama's pecan pie cooling on the windowsill and my grandson Jake's laughter echoing off the chain-link fence, I'd uncork it now and drown in the sweetness one more time. But I can't. Instead, I'm sitting here in this sterile room that smells like bleach and forgotten dreams, staring at a faded photo of us under that old live oak, his little hand in mine, and wondering how the boy I raised from diapers ended up calumny controlling like it was a curse. You see, I'm Loretta Mae Johnson, a 68-year-old black grandma from the heart of San Antonio, where the sun bakes the sidewalks and family means sharing the last biscuit even when your own plate's empty. Back then, after my daughter Carla's messy divorce left her running off to chase some fool's promise in Dallas, Jake came to me at 5, wide-eyed, gap-toothed, with his daddy's dimples and a backpack full of Legos. "Nana, will you keep me?" he asked that first night, curled on my floral couch with the TV glowing cartoons. "Always sugar," I whispered, tucking him in with stories of my own wild youth, dancing at the Blue Star Brewery before it was fancy, sipping sweet tea on the river walk with dreams bigger than the Alamo. Our little bungalow on Elm Street was our kingdom, shotgun style with creaky floors that sang under our feet, a kitchen where I'd teach him to fry chicken just like great-grandma did, grease poppin' like fireworks on the 4th. San Antonio's that kind of place, barbecue joints smoking on every corner, mariachi bands serenading tourists while locals like us swap gossip at the H-E-B checkout. Jake was my light after losing Carla to her heartbreaks and my husband Earl to the cancer that ate him slow 10 years back. I'd quit my cashier job at the grocery to watch him full-time, napping on the couch with him during his kindergarten slumps, chairing at Little League where he'd swing for the fences under those floodlights buzzing like angry bees. "Nana's my MVP," he'd yell, running to me with muddy cleats, and I'd scoop him up, Logan, till my sides ached, ignorant the twinges in my knees from years of standing too long. Those days? Pure gold, the kind you polish with memories. Jake grew like a weed, high school star quarterback, prom king with that grin that melted hearts, me in the bleachers with my thermos of sweet tea, praying he dodged the pitfalls his mama fell into. We'd grill brisket in the backyard, him flippin' burgers while I stirred collards, talkin' dreams. Him to UT Austin on scholarship, me to a cruise down the Gulf someday. Neighbors like Miss Rosa next door, widowed too, with her chihuahua yappin' at squirrels, would join for bingo nights on the porch, fans whirring lazy in the heat. And then there was Big Earl's old truck, rusted but runnin', where Jake learned to drive, me white-knucklin' the dash. Easy on the gas, boy, you ain't racin' the devil. Laughter till tears, highs that made the lows I knew were comin' bearable. After Earl passed, I'd battled my own shadows, hot flashes hittin' like Texas summers, that quiet ache of empty arms. But Jake filled, church on Sundays at Mount Zion, gospel choir liftin' our souls, then tamales at Mi Tierra, steamin', hot with stories of his crushes. "Nana, you're the boss," he'd say, stealin' my horchata, and I'd swat him playful, heart full as the Rio Grande. Subplots wove and gentle, like threads in a quilt. Miss Rosa's daughter, Tanya, fresh from her own divorce up in Houston, became my confidant. Porch chats over iced tea, her Logan at my quips on datin' after 50. Menopause? It's God's way of saying no more BS, honey. I'd nod, sharing my own redesigns, starting a little bikini side hustle from the kitchen, pies for the farmer's market, flour dust in my apron like fairy dust. Health scares crept too, my arthritis flaring in the rain, Dr. nagging about checkups I skipped for Jake's braces fund. But resilience kept me going. Therapy sessions at the community center, where I joke. At my age, armor's just good sense. Jake's mama Carla called sporadic, guilt-laced. Mama, you're a saint. Tell Jake I love him. But it was me and him, thick as thieves. College acceptance to UT? We danced in the living room, ribs and ribs on the menu. His hug crucian the breath from me. Couldn't without you, Nana. Folks at the block party toasted Loretta's boy, fireworks crackling over the missions, and I floated, ignorant the subtle twinges, his calls from Austin Shorter, mentions of a girl named Becca with big plans. Tension hinted, like thunder rumbling far off. Nana, she's ambitious, wants the city life. Ambitious. I smiled, but inside, a draft slipped through the screen door. What if her plans didn't include room for the woman who'd bandaged his knees and baked his birthday cakes? As summer faded to fall, the warmth lingered in small joys. A weekend visit with Jake, him fixin' the leaky faucet with tools from Earl's shed, us Logan, over Whataburger runs at midnight. You're my rock, Nana, he'd say, and I'd hug him fierce, breathin' in that cologne he splashed too heavy. But the hints piled. A missed birthday call. Sorry, study group. Miss Rosa noticed over bingo. That boy's flying high, Loretta. Don't let the nest empty too quick.
Nest.
The word hung, suspense simmering quiet as a pot on low boil. My own second chances flickered. Dad app swipes with a chuckle at the silver fox profiles. Self-love bloomin' in solo walks along the river, quipped in to Tanya. After 50, it's me first, darlin'. Arthritis days. I'd ice my hands with a funny story for Jake. These fingers fried 1,000 chickens. Now they protest. He'd laugh, but the calls dropped, Becca's voice in the background. Babe, the lease? Lease. Not home. The diner chats with regulars turn confessional. Kids grow, Loretta, sometimes away.
Away.
As leaves turned crimson like warning flags, I pushed on, pecan pies for the church sale, volunteering at the senior center where stories of sidelined grandmas stirred my gut. But in the quiet nights, staring at the ceiling, fan-worn lazy, doubt-rooted, what if the boy I'd poured my soul into was building a life that locked me out? The storm brewed slow, highs of his texts crashing into lows of silence, suspense coiling like barbed wire round my heart. The first real crack spiderwebbed in on a sweltering June evening, the kind where the Texas sun hangs low and lazy, painting the San Antonio sky in strokes of orange and regret, and the air hums with cicadas singing, warnings I was too stubborn to hear. I'd just wrapped a pecan marathon in the kitchen, pecan pies coolin' on wire racks for the farmer's market tomorrow, the bungalow thick with butter and vanilla, my arthritis throbbing like a drumbeat in my knuckles. Jake was home from UT for summer break, sprawling on the couch with a Whataburger sack, his laugh booming as we watched reruns of I Love Lucy, me quoting Lucy's sass. At my age, honey, life's too short for bad coffee. He grinned that dimpled grin, stealing a fry from my plate. Nana, you're funnier than her. Fun. The word wrapped me warm, but as the credits rolled, his phone buzzed. Becca, the ambitious one with a Dallas drawl and plans for a law firm takeover. Gotta take this, he said, step into the porch, voice low but leaking through the screen. Babe, Nana's great, but she hovers, always a skin about our future. Hovers. The word landed like a slap, hot and stingent, and I froze, pie crust crumbling in my grip. Future. Our future? I busied myself with dishes, water running, loud to drown the hurt, but the crack was there, hairline but deep, suspense simmering like the leftover gravy on the stove. From that night, the doubts seeped in slow, like humidity through cracked plaster, tinnin, every joy bittersweet. Jake's visits home stretched longer, but the air shifted, his stories of Austin now laced with Becca says. She'd call sometimes, voice polished as her sorority pin. Loretta, Jake raves about your pies. Send the recipe? I'd mail, M with love notes tucked in, but replies came sparse, her laughs tinny over speakerphone. So quaint, your bungalow. We can't wait to show you our apartment.
Quaint.
The word grated, a subtle betrayal hidden in compliments, and I'd smile through it, but inside, the foundation trembled. Personal struggles piled, my hot flashes hitting fiercer in the heat, night sweat soaking sheets till I'd joke to Miss Rosa over porch tea. Menopause? It's the Lord's way of testin' if I'm ready for hell's sauna. She'd cackle, her chihuahua yappin' approval, but her eyes held worry. That girl's pullin' him, Loretta, seen it with my Tanya. Ambition's a jealous lover. Lover. Becca's motivation unfolded in snippets. Her own mama, a single mom who'd smothered her with love, leaving scars that made her crave control. She's building walls, sugar, Miss Rosa warned, but I waved it off. Resilience my shield. Jake's my boy, he'll see. The selfishness bloomed quiet, building suspense in the silences. Fall semester started. Jake's calls droppin' to weekly check-ins. Nana, class is killin' me. Becca's study group saved my hide.
Saved. Not me.
I'd send care packages. Tamales wrapped in foil, his favorite hot sauce, but thanks came via text. THX ma. Becca loves the spice. Loves. The word twisted, highs of his voice crashin' into lows when he dodged plans. Thanksgiving? Becca's folks in Dallas do turkey right. Next time? Next. The promise hung, fragile as the paper turkeys we cut from construction paper when he was little. Subplots layered the ache. Tanya, Miss Rose's daughter, visited from Houston, her divorce fresh, sharing coffee confessions. Mama, I get the control label. It's fear talkin'. Don't let it steal your boy.
Fear.
Becca's or mine. I dove into redesigns, my bikini hustle bloomin' at the market, folks linen up for Loretta's legacy pies, the cash fundin' a solo trip to the hill country, drivin' Earl's old truck with the windows down, Willie Nelson croonin' on the radio. Second act, darlin'. I'd quip to the rear view, humor cuttin' the edge of loneliness. But health nagged, a doc visit revealin' high blood pressure, stress, Loretta, take it easy. Easy. With Jake's Christmas card arrivin' early, a store-bought hallmark with miss you scrawled hasty, no visit attached. Quiet suspense coiled tighter that winter, holidays loomin' like storm clouds over the missions. I decked the bungalow, lights twinklin' on the live oak, tamales simmerin' for whoever showed. Invite went out. Jake and Becca, home for the feast? Reply, tryin' Nana exams. Tryin'. The word echoed hollow as the empty chair at the table. Miss Rosa hosted a pre-Christmas potluck, her porch groanin' under folding chairs, laughter bubblin' over eggnog. Loretta, that pie's sinful. I'd laugh, but my eyes darted to the drive, hopin'. Harold, Miss Rosa's brother, a gentle rancher with laugh lines deep as arroyos, squeezed my hand. He'll come, sugar. And if not, you've got us.
Us.
The subplot of second chances flickered. Dad talk over brisket, his quip on silver foxes. At our age, it's the hunt that's fun. Fun. But as snow dusted rare in San Antonio, Jake's call came during the party. Nana, can't make it. Becca's sick. Finals crunch. Merry Christmas, love ya.
Love. Click.
The phone slipped, eggnog spillin', and I excused myself to the backyard, tears freezing on my cheeks under the oak. Why, Lord, I whispered, branches swaying like accusations. Harold found me, his coat over my shoulders. Cried out Loretta, tomorrow's yours. Tomorrow. But the crack widened, selfishness rooted in deep. Becca's overheard snippet on a speaker slip. His Nana sweet, but clingy. Boundaries for the baby. Baby. The twist hung. Suspense strangling breath. Grandbaby? Or goodbye. The foundation shifted. Highs of market sales crashing into lows of silent nights. My quips turning sharp. Agin gracefully? More like gracefully alone. If these cracks have you peering at your own family photos, loves like to mend a bit. Subscribe for the turmoil rising. Bell on for the truths that test us. Into the break we tumble. The shatter hit like a Texas twister on a humid August night, the air electric with the threat of rain that never came, leaving everything sticky and unresolved, much like the call that cracked my world wide open. I'd been at the farmer's market all day, my booth a riot of color, pies stacked high, the scent of cinnamon drawing folks like bees to the bluebonnets, my arthritis protesting with every box lifted. Loretta's pies, best in San Antonio, the regulars hollered, slapping down cash for a slice of peach cobbler that held memories of Jake's first bake-off win at the county fair. The highs buoyed me, cash jingling in my apron for a new mixer, Tanya chair from her stall next door with handmade soaps. Sell out mama, show. M50 plus is prime time.
Prime.
I laughed, wiping sweat with a bandana. But inside, the doubts gnawed. Jake's text sparse as desert rain. Miss the pies, Nana. Becca's trying your recipe. Trying, not tasting with me. Home by dusk, the bungalow glowing under string lights I'd hung for no reason but hope. I fired up the grill for a solo supper, brisket rubbin' with Earl's secret spices, the sizzle a song of better days. Phone buzzed mid-flip. Jake, video call, his face filling the screen from Austin, Becca's arms slung casual, round his shoulders. Nana. Quick update. We're engaged. His grin beamed, ring flashing on her finger, a diamond big as a June bug. Joy spiked, sharp as a thorn. Sugar. When? Tell me everything. Laughter bubbled, them clinkin' champagne flutes in some fancy dorm lounge, stories spillin'. Proposal under the UT tower at sunset, her yes echoing his daddy's once. Nana, you're first on the list, weddin' planner duty? My heart swelled, envisioning fittings at the bridal shop downtown, bikini the cake with Jake's help like old times. Wouldn't miss it, boy. When's the date? Pause, her voice cutting in smooth. Fall next year, small, intimate. Family only. Family. The word landed soft, but the follow-up cracked. Nana, Becca's folks are hostin' tradition. We'll fly you out for the rehearsal.
Fly. Out. Not in.
I nodded, screen freezing on their smiles, but the brisket charred, smoke billowing like my risin' turmoil. Sounds perfect. I lied, hanging up to sobs that racked the empty yard, the live oak drooping like it felt the weight. From there, the break-in point-barreled on, conflicts a skeleton like a line storm brewing, over the hills. The engagement news spread, Miss Rosa's potluck turned celebratory, eggnog flowing early with toasts, to Loretta's boy making good. But under the laughter, stakes climbed. Jake's visits home now, quick stops. Becca in tow with her polished smile and Dallas pedigree, her eyes scanning the bungalow like it was a museum piece. So, authentic, she'd say, fingering my quilt on the couch, the one I'd pieced from Earl's shirts. Authentic, code for outdated. I'd bite my tongue, serving sweet tea with lemon wedges, but the air thickened, her quips on modern families. Jake and I want our space, no hovering, you know? Hovering. The label stuck, a subtle betrayal festering. Her motivation pecan threw in a late-night call with Tanya. Becca's mama was a helicopter. Left her scarred. She's overcompensating. Over. But at what cost? My highs crashed hard. Market sales booming enough for a solo trip to Big Bend, hiking trails at dawn with a thermos of coffee, quipped in to the cacti, egging alone? More like solo adventure, y'all. Humor my armor, self-love bloomin' in the wildflowers, but lows plunged deeper. Health check revealing prediabetes stock naggin. Stress, Loretta, let go.
Let go.
Of what? Heart-wrenching scenes piled like tumbleweeds. Labor Day barbecue, me firing up the pit for Jake's last visit before school. Ribs smoking slow. The yard full of neighbors clapping to Tejano tunes. He arrived with Becca, her sundress crisp, hugging me stiff. Smells amazing, Loretta. But as we ate, her hand on his knee, she leaned in. Jake's told me about your Nana rules, sweet, but we're adults now. Rules. The word ignited, fork drop and clatter. Rules? Honey, that's love, bandages, and bedtime stories. Laughter from the crowd, but her smile tightened, Jake shifted uncomfortable. Ma, she's jokin'. Jokin'. The high of his presence soured, suspense buildin' as she pulled him aside, whispers leakin'. See? Controlling. We need distance for the wedding. Distance. That night, alone with the cleanup, grease staining my apron like blood, tears mixed with the soapy water. Miss Rosa Callan from next door. Heard the talk, sugar. Don't let her rewrite your story. Rewrite. The subplot twisted. Tanya's visit. Her share in therapy wisdom over wine. Boundaries are good, Mama, but hers sound like bars.
Bars.
Jake's next call confirmed. Nana, Becca's stressed. Weddin' plannin'. Maybe skip the dress shoppin'?
Skip.
The stake drove deep, emotional turmoil crestin' at Thanksgiving, me hostin' a family feast for Miss Rosa and Harold, table set for ghosts, turkey carvin' with a shaky hand. Phone rang mid-grace, Jake. Ma. Dallas tradition, Becca sighed. Turkey pics soon?
Pics.
Not presents. I choked it out, blessin' the empty chairs, Harold's hand squeezin' mine. Our feast, Loretta, your rules. Rules. But as pie steamed untouched, the break-in point loomed, secret simmerin', an overheard voicemail from Becca to her mama. His Nana's clingy, after the weddin'. Assisted livin' for her? Assisted. The twist hung, high stakes risin' like floodwaters. My bikini business thriven but heart shrinkin', resilience tested in volunteer shifts at the center, quippin' to the ladies, grandparentin'? More like grandstandin' alone. Alone. The foundation buckled, conflicts peakin' in quiet rage over diner coffee the next mornin', steam risin' like my unspoken fury. How does love turn to label so quick? Solitude slunk in like a coyote under moonlight, silent and starvin'. Tinnin' my San Antonio bungalow from a haven to a hollow shell on a crisp December mornin', when the rare frost etched the windows like tears frozen mid-fall. I'd woken to the tick of the kitchen clock, louder than ever without Jake snorin' from the couch, the air heavy with the ghost of cinnamon from pies baked for a weddin'. That shut me out. Arthritis had me movin' slow, joints poppin' like gunfire as I brewed coffee strong as my resolve, but the mug warmed hands that trembled rememberin' Becca's whisper. Assisted living. The word clawed, suspense coilin' tight as I rifled the hall closet for that old photo album, dust sneezin' up memories. Jake at 3, finger paint mustache, me Logan with flower in my hair. But tucked in the back, a twist, a crumpled invitation to their engagement party. Intimate. Family only. With my name crossed out in pencil. Becca's neat script.
Crossed. Out.
Tears hit hot. Splatter in the page. The house echo in my sob like a canyon call. The descent deepened. Despair's shadows lengthening with every unanswered prayer. Wedding day dawned in spring. The Alamo bells tolling. Joy for the world while I sat in the empty living room. TV muted on a bridal show. My dress laid out on the bed like a corpse. Harold called from the ranch. Loretta, come, let's make our own celebration. Celebration. I drove out, wind whipping through the truck window, quipped into the mirror. At 68, honey, your party's the one that counts. But the low plunged, Tanya's text with a bootleg pic, Jake in tux, Becca radiant, no gray bun in sight. Sorry, mama, they said space.
Space.
The label stuck, her trauma subplot unfolded in snippets Tanya gleaned from mutuals. Becca's mama, a smotherer who'd lost her to rebellion, now her pushing the same cage on me. Fear's a thief, Tanya said over phone, her voice thick with her own divorce scars.
Thief.
My highs flickered faint. Market sales funding a solo trip to Marfa, stargazing under that big sky. Humor my lantern. Egan alone? Stars don't judge, darling. But health betrayed. A doc visit for the pressure. Pills prescribed with a warning. Stress'll kill you quicker than barbecue.
Kill.
The word echoed in the assisted living brochures Jake forgot to hide on his last flyby visit. Suspense strangled in the silences, twists coming, sly as a jackrabbit. One muggy July evening, insomnia drove me to the backyard, the live oak drooping under cicada chorus, when I overheard, Jake on speaker in the kitchen, voice low. Becca, Nana's fine, but yeah, she's intense. The house? Too many memories. Memories. The knife twisted, me freezing in the shadows, heart hammering as she replied, after the baby, we move her. Cheap place near us, but boundaries. Can't have her dropping in. Baby. Grandbaby number 2? Or bars? I slipped away, sobs muffled in the oak's bark, glimmers of strength sparkling like fireflies, volunteering at the center, teaching pecan to the ladies, their laughs my balm. Loretta, you're our spark, one said, a Latina widow from the west side, her story mirroring mine daughter's modern life, leaving her sidelined. Diverse pains bend in us, empowerment in the flower-dusted hugs. Harold stepped up, dattin' real talk over brisket at his ranch. Marry me proper, Loretta, no rush, but life's short. Short. I almost said yes, humor cutting the edge. At our age, second chances come with warranties? But the shadow loomed, Jake's wedding album Aravan by mail, pages of joy without my face a note. Nana, wish you could have been there. Travel was tough.
Tough. Lie.
The isolation peaked Labor Day, block party buzzing next door while I ate TV dinner alone, phone silent. Miss Rosa wheeled over, her chihuahua in lap. He called me, said you're adjustin' poor. Adjustin'.
To what being erased?
Her cancer's back, stage 4, but she's fightin'. Take a page, honey.
Fight.
The subplot twisted. Tanya's therapy nudge. Boundaries are doors, mama, not walls. Open yours.
Open. But to what?
Despair's grip tightened that fall, leaves crunching underfoot like brittle bones as Jake announced the move. Dallas for Becca's job. Nana, visit anytime.
Anytime.
But the anytime never came, calls drop into monthly, her voice filtering. Loretta, Jake swamped, baby on the way. Space for now.
Space.
The label evolved to cage, health crumbling, hot flashes mix in with chest pains, your visit revealing stress-induced arrhythmia, doc's wisdom. Therapy after 58 weakness. It's armor. Wear it. Armor. I did. Sessions at the center where grandparenting pains poured out. Joy and hugs. Pain and goodbyes.
Goodbyes.
The twist hit Christmas Eve. Package from them. A monogrammed blanket for the baby note. Nana, for the nursery, love from Dallas. Nursery. Not mine. I wrapped it round me on the porch. Snow flurrin' rare. Tears freezin' as Harold joined, his arm warm. Our Christmas, Loretta. Let's elope to the coast.
Coast.
Hope glimmered. Second chance humor sparkin'. Beaches and bingo? Sign me up. But the shadow swallowed. Suspense pecan in an overheard call to Miss Rosa. Jake? He's shipping her soon. Cheap facility. Says it's best for her health. Health.
Lie.
Isolation's nadir. New Year's alone. TV count-in down while I counted regrets. Resilience a faint pulse. Volunteer in Leodin to a bikini class for seniors. Their stories my mirror. Sidelined, but not sunk.
Not.
Sunk.
Yet.
The echoes crashed in like a gulf wave on a stormy shore, pulling me under on a blisterin' 4th of July, when the San Antonio sky boiled red and gold. Fireworks poppin' distant while my world imploded in the sterile hush of Willow Creek assisted livin'. I'd been moved 2 months prior, Jake and Becca's gift. The bungalow sold quick for their Dallas down payment. My Pies market booth shuddered like a bad dream. The facility was cheap as they come, linoleum floors scuffed gray, rooms sharin', walls thin as promises, the cafeteria servin', jello that jiggled like my regrets. That day, the common room TV flickered a barbecue ad, ribs smokin' like memories, and I sat knit in a blanket for the grandbaby I'd never hold, arthritis knotting my fingers tighter than my heart. Miss Rosa's last call echoed in my head. Fight, Loretta. They're grillin' without you.
Grillin'.
The word twisted, suspense break-in as my roommate, a feisty Latina widow named Sophia from the valley, wheeled in with the mail. Mija, this one's heavy from Dallas. Heavy. The envelope, Jake's scrawl bold, held a card. Happy 4th, Nana. Barbecue with the fam Lily says hi. Pics attached.
Pics.
Glossy prints of them under a canopy. Jake flippin' burgers with that dimpled grin. Becca radiant in sundress. Lily on his hip wavin', a sparkler. No gray bun in sight. The hive seein' my boy crashed into gut wrench. Tears soakin' the card as Sophia hugged me fierce. Dios. That's no family. That's a postcard.
Postcard.
Life. The climax swelled from there. Confrontations brewin', like a pot of red beans left too long on the stove. Jake called that night, voice cracklin' over the line from the party noise. Nana? How's the place? We send cookies. Cookies. Store-bought, no doubt. I gripped the phone, voice steady as steel. Place is fine. Sugar. But where's my invite? The oak's lonely without your laugh. Pause. Fireworks boomin' behind. Then Becca's murmur. Ma. It's complicated. Becca's family tradition. You're settlin' in, right? Settlin'. The label burned, stakes sky high as I pressed. Tradition? I raised you, boy, bandaged knees, baked your first cake. This controllin' talk, whose words? Silence stretched, suspense thick as gumbo roux, then his crack. Nana, she's scared, her mama smothered her, lost her to drugs. I thought space would help.
Space.
Her trauma subplot unravelin'. But mine? Collateral. Scared of what, love? A Nana's hug? Sobs choked him. I messed up. Come for Labor Day.
Come.
The promise hung, bittersweet as unsweet tea, highs of hope flickerin' amid lows. Redemption's path wound twisty, echoes reverberating through the summer heat. Labor Day came, me packing a pie in Tupperware, Harold driving the 4 hours to Dallas in his pickup, quipping to ease my nerves. If they ghost again, we hit the rodeo, my treat.
Treat.
The brownstone loomed, manicured lawn mocking my bungalow's wildflowers, and Jake met us at the door, arms open but eyes guilty. Nana, glad you came.
Glad.
Becca hovered, sundress crisp, hug stiff. Loretta, the pie thoughtful. Thoughtful. Not welcome. Dinner was tense, table groaning, with ribs and slaw, Lily on my lap cooing soft, her tiny hand on my cheek a glimmer of joy that cracked my armor. Grandbaby, I whispered, breathing her baby scent, but Becca cleared her throat. She's teething. Better hand her over. Over. The label resurfaced, conversation turned to boundaries. We love you, Nana, but the facility's good for your health. Trips are hard. Health.
Lie.
Jake shifted, subplot twistin'. Ma, Becca's right, her mama's story. I don't want that for us.
Us. Without me.
The high of Lily's giggle crashed into rage. Fork clatterin'. Hard? Drivin' 4 hours for a hug, that's too much. I gave up my life for you, boy. After Carla's divorce, your braces, that scholarship fund for my bikini. Tears, hot room stillin', Harold's hand squeezin' mine under the table. Easy, Loretta. We came for family. Family. The word ignited the confrontation, Jake's face crumplin'. Nana, I see it now. Sarah, I'm sorry. The controlin'. It was fear, not you.
Fear.
Hers, his ambition blindin' him to my pain. Closure came bittersweet, reflections pourin' like rain after drought. Jake drove me back the next day, silence heavy till the Alamo loomed. Move closer, Nana. Our old bungalow's waitin'. I nodded, forgiveness with boundaries. Love you, sugar. But visits, not visits. Visits. The echoes faded to harmony. Wedding anniversary pie bikini with Lily on a stool, her giggles fillin' the kitchen. Becca's tentative, teach me, Loretta? The wind ice. Harold and I eloped to the coast, toes in sand, quippin', bout, second acts with salt in the air. Health steadied with therapy armor, volunteerin' bloomin' into a community bikini club for sidelined grandmas, their stories my mirror. Joy in the mix-in, pain in the bikini, but we rise.
Rise.
Jake's promotion came, but with weekly drives, no more space. Becca's cookbook launched, my recipe front and center. To Loretta, the heart that fed us. Heart. The poignant regret lingered, ghosts of empty nests banished, but lessons etched. Love's not smother, it's the thread that mends. Oh, my dears, as I rock on this porch under the live oak's watchful shade, the pecans tap in soft like gentle reminders. I've learned the soul action, truth that family ain't the branches that grow away. It's the roots that hold firm, even when the wind howls fierce. I poured my days into Jake. Bandaging is hard after that divorce storm, frying chicken through my own widow's fog and hot flashes that felt like hell's preview, only to hear controlin' from the girl he chose, her fears from a smotherin' mamatin and my love to chains in her eyes. But here's the wisdom from these creaky bones, practical as a good rue. After 50, resilience ain't denying the pain. It's armoring up with therapy that stitches the scars, set in boundaries that say, love me as I am, or step back. To the Beccas out there, scarred by yesterdays, no fear builds walls but tears em down. Like grandmas in, their hugs heal more than hurt. To the Jakes Klimbin ladders slick with haste, pause at the rung. Your Nana's the foundation, not the footnote. Presence over presence, every holiday. And to my sister souls navigin empty nests or sidelined grandparentin, remember, Agin is adventure, not endin'. Bake that pie for yourself. Hike that trail solo with a quip and a grin. Volunteer where stories like yours bloom into bonds thicker than blood. Forgiveness? With boundaries, darlin'. Reconcile, but reclaim your throne. Sacrifices echo loudest in the quiet, but quiet hope whispers back. You're not forgotten. You're the root that redeems. Carry your light, loves. It outshines any storm. Phew, if Loretta's echoes stirred that deep ache in you, share your own grandparent tale below. What label broke your heart? Your words weave the quilt. Like if it hit home, subscribe for more confessions from the roots, and hit the bell so no echo goes unheard. Share, spread the strength. Tag a Nana who needs it. Next, a grandma's heirloom stolen by her own blood. Twists that'll wrench and restore. Thanks for listening. Kin, hold your people close. See you in the warmth.